Hey there, it's Michael. Welcome to Whole Again, the show that's here in support of you creating a meaningful life and the person you're becoming. And I'm excited to share a new series with you that will air this summer as America turns 250 years old, which is still pretty young relative to many other countries across this big blue marble that we all share. The series is called A Perfectly Imperfect Union. In 2022, I rode my bike across America, from Astoria, Oregon to the Lincoln Memorial. My wife drove our RV, and she had two co-pilots, Jester and Hope, two Springer Spaniels. And when we did it, America was coming out of the pandemic, and we were hurting from things that had happened prior to the pandemic. Of course, going through what we all went through. And at that time, and this is something I still believe today, is that we were entering an inflection point. An inflection point for us to hopefully pause, breathe, and reflect on who we wish to become as individuals, as communities, and as a country. As I pedaled across America, I wanted to share America's beauty with others, her natural beauty and the beauty of her people. And I also wanted to share where we were hurting. As America turns 250, I believe Kintsugi, which is something we use as a metaphor here at Whole Again, is a perfect metaphor for where we are as a country. There's so much beauty to celebrate, and we can also acknowledge that parts of us feel broken or are broken, but we can find a way to come back together, just like Kintsugi teaches us. And when we do, we don't try to erase or cover up where we have scars or blemishes. We highlight them in gold, and we celebrate them as symbols of our strength and resilience. Kintsugi is called the golden repair, and in essence, we can see beauty in something that's perfectly imperfect. During this series, I plan to speak to at least 2 people in each state and the District of Columbia. So 102 conversations with real folk, as I like to say. We're going to let the celebrities and the big influencers have their day somewhere else. But here, I want to reach out and talk to real people and listen to their reflections as they think about America turning 250 years old. And my hope is that you'll tune in to at least one, if not all 102. Because my theory going into this is that you'll hear different perspectives. Some may be aligned with yours. Others may not. But my hope is that you hear the goodness in your fellow citizens and realize, as Maya Angelou shared with us, we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. I've had the privilege of traveling all over the world and all over this country. And this belief is something that I hold deep inside of me. So yes, I do believe that we are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. So if you're ready to meet one of your fellow neighbors, take a healthy breath in and a slow releasing breath out, and get to know Morty Bachar. Morty, so great to see you, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for initiating this.
Yeah. So for those that don't know you, I was hoping we could take a moment to introduce yourself. So, how would you describe who you are and where are you in this country?
Physically or mentally?
Or maybe both.
All right. I'm in Lewis, Delaware, for 10 years now. Prior to that, we had a art school for three-dimensional art in the New York area, Stamford, Connecticut. Then prior to that, I was working in the New York area as a technologist, corporate stuff.
Okay, awesome. And so I notice an accent that isn't necessarily a Delawarean accent. So
Yes, it is. I'm kidding. Yeah. No. Um, my accent is unique. Even people from my own country don't know that I'm from there. I was born and raised in Israel,
okay.
but I grew up in a home that spoke Bulgarian and Spanish,
Oh wow, interesting.
and I learned my English in Zimbabwe.
Wow.
So it's sort of a hybrid Zimbabwe's British kind of English. So most people think I'm from France for some reason.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
No, thanks for sharing that. So, for those that haven't been to Delaware, it's my premise that since America is such a big country, most Americans have not been throughout all the different states. So, we tend to maybe travel in our natural habitat, if you will. If we're on the West Coast, travel on the West Coast. So many people probably haven't been to Delaware. So, what's something special about Delaware that people may not know about?
It's not all of Delaware is like that, but the part that we've chosen and other parts near us, it stretches along the ocean, and it's Cape Codish kind of a place. It feels like
Mm,
Cape Cod, but it's a year-round kind of environment. The local love it here, and then they have very strong roots and pride about Delaware. It's a small state; it just passed the 1 million. So politically, for example, I can call the senator, and they're gonna call me back. So
wow.
so there is this contact that people are responding to what you think and what you do. And it's a little bit warmer than the New York area. That's partly
Yes.
why we moved here. So we get 1 month at each end that it's still an outdoorish kind of a time. Um, but it's mostly the people. Those who are not familiar with Delaware, it's a small state. It feels like Maine or Colorado, where people love nature and the care for the
Nice.
environment. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I also love the small size. My sense is that, people really know each other. You can say hi to your neighbors. If you can call your senator and your senator can respond to you, just walking through town, you probably see a lot of familiar faces and there's some acknowledgement there. So that's
Yes.
really cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, one question I've been asking people is this one. I encourage you to just imagine yourself like maybe at a nice picnic table. Maybe it's the summertime and you have your friends, family, and colleagues, what have you, around the table, and they ask you what America means to you. How do you respond?
It's involved response, but I'll do the executive summary. I left Israel for all sort of reasons, including after serving in the IDF, beginning to understand that I was indoctrinated. I didn't see or I was privy to all the information and the reason why Israel exists in the first place. And by being a militant officer, seeing how another human kind become subhuman and are not counted as people, treated, manipulated, lands taken away from them with all sort of reasons, biblical myth or whatever that is. I decided that I don't want to raise a family there, and I was thinking I need to really understand this better. And the Zimbabwe thing was I just went camping for 6 months. I was by myself quite a bit, met people. So I needed to know that you are the sum of your experiences. I couldn't resolve my what I see in front of me clearly, and I figure out if I get a new experience, I might come back and see it clear, which that would happen. As soon as I came back, it was clearly defined to me that that's not the country I want to live in, and I came to the U.S. the country of the free and true democracy for all people, to recently, in the last number of years, hit a phase that I'm back to where I started politically. Right, so a lot of what I described Israel is to be is taking root here, not as deep because it's a big country, but it's very frustrating to see what I learned to see, and many people don't see it yet.
I can appreciate your answer just based on your lived experience. Like it's almost like it's an experience that's on almost an echo or a repeat from
Yes,
like
familiar. Yeah,
familiar, yeah.
yeah.
So one of the reasons why I reached out to you because we share a love of Kintsugi, and so you're a Kintsugi artist for those that don't know. And I know that when people come to you and ask for you to create Kintsugi for them, most of those people are coming because they've gone through something. You know, they've gone through some type of suffering or pain. That was at least my entry into Kintsugi because I have a whole bunch of scars from my traumatic event, and so it gave me a way to see my scars in a bit of a different way and also see myself differently. So when you think about the tension or maybe the hurt that Americans feel like in this given moment and sort of that tension between like where we are right now and what we could be. I was hoping you could speak maybe to that, or maybe another way of looking at it, Morty, is like speak to like the suffering and hurt that people come to you with when they ask you to commission a piece of Kintsugi.
It covered the full spectrum. Like for example, we got a peak of requests, and a lot of the requests, people want to talk to me. They feel it's personal. Often they tell me something that said, "I can't believe I told you this. I don't tell anyone
Mm,
what I just told you. It's easier to tell a stranger." And I'm allowed that space for them. I'm listening rather than I see it comfortably. I turn off the phone just to be with them for these 5-10 minutes they need. So and not everybody does it, of course, but many do. So, for example, the Me Too movement, we got a lot of requests for a vase and a woman figure that I managed to source from Japan, or there we have different ones, and in women or somebody that loves them, whether they're gay or different or just women that were abused, they wanted to express that, yeah, you're suffering and the scars are there, but let's celebrate them rather than suffer and become a better person. So hear the story, whether it's sexual abuse or diverse stories, right? So that's one group of concern people have. It's about half. Some buy it for themselves, the other half buy it for others. There's a subset that are psychotherapists that buy them. In they ask, for example, what shapes work. So I began to be an advisor of what works because I learned. I do about 500 to 600 of them every year. It's a lot of them.
wow.
So psychotherapists, we sort of because I get feedback. They want something small, something that fit on the palm of your hand. So as they talk about their issue to the therapist, they connect to that vessel
Yes.
more than visual. They
Hmm.
feel the scars. It touch every part of their palm. Uh, so so that's one group. The other group has to do with PTSD, soldiers, people that came back. Um, I have a case. There in every story there are many of the same, but an example. This person is a son of a Shah. Now he's a Shah
Hmm.
uh, um, in Saudi Arabia. So he was educated in Harvard Business School, came back to his family, and he complied with the tradition and religion of Saudi Arabia. He wanted to provide the same thing to his daughter. She went to Oxford, and she didn't want to come back complying. And he shunned her. They didn't talk to each other for many years. And he began to have regret, and he wanted to bridge the gap. So he said, I need to fly to England and give us something that indicated that our own scars can materialize to something beautiful. And he wanted a heart shape. I had to make the vessel a heart shape, organic heart shape vase with two stamps, bracket, and he sourced for me a very high-end gemstone to insert in there. And then a few months later, after the meeting, I get a picture of both of them in a hotel room, smiling and hugging each other, with a with an item that connected them symbolically.
Wow.
So it's all over the place where people are hurting and they want to hang on into something that's going to remind them and symbolize the pain and the connection.
Yeah. So if you could apply your skill as an artist and try to help America repair something, in a meaningful way, but maybe not, perfectly, maybe in the spirit of Kintsugi, where we repair and there's a scar left behind, but we celebrate that. What is something that you would like to help the country, heal or repair, if you will?
I'm dealing with it every day. I write something to somebody or somewhere almost daily. It comes in the context of Kintsugi. It's easier to connect to a person, build trust through the interaction, but then find out that in one hand they get connected to their soul or divine, if it's a religious thing, because the fact that they want Kintsugi, they already have that sense of depth, but yet they lose that depth in other area
Hmm.
by making or choosing leaders that don't have that depth. So I use that vehicle that I have, knowing that they have that, to make them wonder, ask question, not answer the question, not create a conflict, and try to awaken that to apply to the other part of life. So, in many times there is a follow up. Thank you. You made me aware. I'm thinking through that. Um, my father shunned me because I voted for somebody that he's not agreeing with, and that's silly, and it made me connect with him, etc., etc. So people need to talk to each other behind the materialistic, um, and gossip, or whatever that human, like we're a pack animal at the end of the day. We
Yes.
have that thing in us, and make them aware that as pack animal, we must have that in us. Otherwise, we wouldn't survive as a species.
Yes.
Awaken that.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Wake up to the need for us to connect and be with people. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We can I think we've lost it, or it's atrophied in such a way because one culprit, I think, is just how much we look down at our phones, and that can separate us. Um, maybe intentionally, maybe unintentionally. So I love that. I love that notion. So since it's a birthday, we get to have cake and we get to make a birthday wish as we blow out the candles as America turns 250. So my next question, Morty, is what kind of cake is your favorite cake to serve for a birthday?
Chocolate cake, of course.
Chocolate. Okay, so chocolate cake, chocolate icing.
Yeah. Well, this was a selfish response.
That's
Um,
okay. Most people are providing selfish response to this because people are very particular about what kind of cake they like.
I don't know. I mean, you're thinking metaphorically. I'm assuming, a cake with many flavors, so more can join and eat it,
Yeah, maybe a tutti frutti cake.
or whatever. Yeah. So there is something for everybody. Yes.
Yes, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. And so as the candles are being blown out, like 250 candles, so it can be a long wish, but what would you wish for America as it celebrates its 250?
I wish it's the same wish that I was thinking about Israel 40 years ago. I wish that we're all going to be truthful and authentic about recognizing the good and the bad
Mm,
historically. And only when you understand the good and the bad, rather than omit books from libraries, or control media or whatever, speak the truth, tell the truth, is and accept it and apologize for where apology is needed.
Yeah, I like that. I felt that as I rode my bike across the country, like the goodness of America, the awe, its natural beauty, but also just our history. And so we need to be honest with our history as well. So I share that. So what I've been doing is I've asked the person that I talked to last, one of your fellow citizens. It happens to be Chris. He's out in Colorado. So he has a question for you. And then in turn, you get to ask the next person I talk to a question. So his question is this: as you look out across the next decade, if you will, or it could be over the next 5 years, what are you most optimistic about? And the second part to his question is there anything in particular you're doing to help realize that optimism?
So we have 5 children and 9 grandchildren.
Wow,
Obviously, we're not
congratulations.
cross section of society. It's they're all over the spectrum as far as who they are, what they do. So, but I see through them that they realize what they have done with social media in being removed from human connection through the screen, uh, materialistic. They decided that they don't want that for their children.
Mm.
They've identified that they failed themselves and they don't want the kids to fall in the same trap. So, optimism, I see awareness of the current generation of what can be changed in the following generation.
Well, in a couple hours, I speak with Brian, another one of your fellow citizens. He lives out in California. So, what question would you like to ask Brian?
It's going to be a question, but it's also going to be instruction.
Sure.
If Brian, if you really want this country to be wonderful as it could, as a potential, what action do you need to take on a regular basis to add to the collective effort of all of us?
Uh, well, we'll find out his answer here in a few hours, Morty. So,
Yeah, I would love to hear that.
yeah, I'll play it back to you. So,
Basically, we all have to be responsible
yes.
and
Uh,
do all we can do rather than be, like I define people as are you an audience or are you an actor? We need more
mm,
actors.
yes. Daily actors taking
Yes.
action. Yes,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that image. So, thanks for joining me on this and doing all that you're doing to help us step into becoming a perfectly imperfect union. And I appreciate you. So,
And,
thanks for
and,
doing
and
this.
I thank you for the journey you put yourself through to connect and understand and share. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
You bet, Morty. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
I know I could have spent a few more hours learning from Morty. I would love to know what you took away from what he shared. I, for one, I'm down for a tutti frutti cake, or at least a cake that everyone can appreciate, something for anyone. And I appreciate his wish that we can authentically recognize the good and bad of our past. That's something I definitely took away as I cycled across the country in 2022. And it's in the spirit of Kintsugi. So, a very fitting response from Morty. Of course, I think we all know that if we really want to come together, it will take more than just wishing. It will take action. And maybe that action starts with a conversation that allows us to be fully seen, heard, and appreciated, or I would say loved. One human to another, even if we don't see the world the same way. I believe that 97% of people are good. There's a like-heartedness in that goodness. And if we lead with our heart, we can be open to different mindedness. That's how we can come together and form a more perfectly imperfect union. If today's conversation resonated with you, I hope you'll share it with someone you know. And if either you or someone you know would like to join me for a conversation, please reach out. And until our next episode in our Perfectly Imperfect Union series, let's remember to celebrate our scars as golden symbols of our strength and resilience. Happy birthday, America. And don't forget to have fun storming the castle. And if you wish to learn more about creating beautiful ripples and how to prevent a bad moment from turning into a bad day, please visit my website, michaelobrienshift.com, and sign up for my newsletter called The Ripple Effect. And join us each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here at Whole Again and discover how you can heal, grow, and become more resilient, and celebrate our scars as golden symbols of strength and resilience. Until then, remember, you can always come back to your breath. You've got this, and we've got you.